I'm going to, I wanted to do some positive content, and that's like the only agenda, so to speak, that I actually have in my mind. I thought the fairest way to attempt to convey or show how happy the positive aspects, which of there are many, retiring in Thailand as a Westerner. I thought I'd try and convey all that. And the best way is just to, I basically opened up the camera and I have, I could have like made up a plan. So I'm going to focus on this aspect or this aspect, or I'm going to talk about like this angle on everything. But I thought, I'll just open up the camera and we'll just see where the heck all this goes. As per typical, I'll start with a short update. It's been a good week. The electroacupuncture, the recent second round has fully kicked in. Back pain's down a bit. Probably as soon as Fawn's car is back from repair, I'll go back for a second round. If I don't want to wait that long, I'll just go by motorcycle, and that's fine. I go by Korat, by motorcycle, boy frequently, so that's not an issue. Today is going to be shoulder day at the gym. One lie. I'll put it on the screen probably there. I like shoulder day. I tend to be kind of a rounded kind of person, so you're always fighting your natural genetics. The idea that you can sculpt your body into whatever shape you want is not really true, by the way. You generally, even the pro guys, they're just genetically built that way. They didn't look like me and then started lifting weights. That's not possible, okay? But you just become a bigger version of whatever you were. And I can emphasize my shoulders a little more and minor compensate. But if you're taking this on as a hobby, as a retiree, which I highly recommend, having strength in your whole body just helps you every aspect. If you fall, it's like literally having armor all over you for an injury, based on my experience. Anyways, so happiness. So it is rather pleasant here. The baht to dollar ratio has been hovering rather consistently at around 36, high 35s to mid 36s. So, that's nice. And I think in the future, the dollar is probably going to be stronger. So for American viewers, I see in the future a lot of reasons why. Not that I'm some gung-ho, super overly pro-American guy. I love my home country and all, but I also realize it's thoroughly screwed up at the moment, and it's going to be a long time until anything resolves itself. Anyways, I drift off subject. Anyway, but you see, spending is great. That's really nice, and the weather is just so good. And I know most guys, I would say, you hear them online, they all complain about the heat. I have a couple of things to say about that. One, Thailand has maybe 20 major regions or areas to it with all different weather patterns, and you can research that, and you can go and travel around. There's a hobby you might enjoy for a couple of years, and do the Anthony Bourdain thing and run around and sample some food and see what you like, and sample the weather and see what you like, and I think you'll find that there are many places in Thailand that have nice weather. Most of it is hot. And again, most foreigners tend to, or at least many of them, tend to congregate around the Gulf of Thailand. It's freaking humid by the ocean, by the way. I'm at my limit of keeping a positive mindset and staying comfortable in my mind when I've gone there in the summertime. And I've been there near the hot season, maybe not in the peak of the hot season. I might have been actually dumb enough to do that once. But it was pretty honking hot, and I was struggling to stay comfortable. That's 104 with humidity that's freaking hot. It's Texas, and I wasn't comfortable in Texas either. But, on the positive side, up here, I'm in a little spot where the humidity is just drastically less. And there are other places. There's, again, Pak Chong, the mountains of Pak Chong. Incredible place. Very pretty, really nice. I haven't explored it as much as I should have. I just tend to go there, see the big lake on top of the mountain, rent a bicycle, ride around, go get some food at a decent restaurant somewhere, and then go park at a hotel and chase Fawn around the hotel room. It's generally my plan for the weekend. I don't know what to tell you. So last time we had a little villa with a private pool. That was also pretty affordable, and that was quite pleasant as well. And then she felt comfortable wearing a little bikini, which looked quite attractive on Fawn. So, so weather. So I really wouldn't worry about that. I would really put oh gosh, I'm worried maybe I shouldn't go to Thailand to weather. I would really not worry about that unless you're just going to stay in some spot that you don't like and never consider moving. And why would you do that? Why would you do that? So don't do that. And then the food, I mean, the food's so nice. I find it about the same managing my weight here versus back home. Maybe a little better with the higher heat. It does curb your appetite a little. Maybe it's a little easier here, although I quite frankly haven't noticed any difference. But I'm relatively disciplined, and I've been through this. I was, again, significantly overweight pretty much my entire life. So I really, I don't want to go back. So, I mean, the biggie is the women, obviously, relationship-wise, the culture. As I'm always saying, opt out. If there's a conversation you're not interested in, if there's people you really don't want to talk to, and you're going to eventually find people like that. They're everywhere. Bad news, hate to tell you. All that. You'll find that you don't even have to say anything. The Thais don't say anything either. You just turn around and go sit somewhere, go do your thing, or bye. And anything that you may be not quite perfect on, they go, oh, well, foreigner doesn't understand. Yeah, And I've done that a couple times where I've pretended I didn't know how to speak Thai just because I really didn't want to talk to that person. A known scammer, a known thief, things like that. I'm not looking down on anybody, but I also don't need to go share my time and then go give myself a bad reputation because I'm seen with that person. I care less about that. Well, I care a little bit because of fun, but you get the idea. I like the quiet village life in terms of the quiet. I think living in the city would just not be for me. I've done that a little bit, and it just pretty quickly I moved out into the villages where it was quieter. Again, I did that too soon by being with Fawn. It would have been smarter to rent a condo in near the villages and then just puttered around and gotten to know Fawn and maybe some other ladies that way or something, whatever, Dating is great, but, again, the channel is probably the number one subject to deal with on the channel is how to avoid getting got. And I've got plenty of content on that. I got some good stuff coming. I got some stuff I'm really happy with coming and some stuff in the can that's really nice. Very happy with that. Some good warnings and red flags and stuff like that. But here, it is kind of nice because back home, you kind of have to, I felt, some of that was weakness on my part, but most guys feel in the West, and certainly in America, I can say, that they have to accept a lot of behaviors and things from their girlfriends and wives that they don't really care for. I heard that a lot when I was married, and that was a very common sentiment amongst virtually all of my friends that were around my age. When you're younger, everything is a little better because, no one's really learned how to take advantage of the other person yet. Everyone's still kind of like new at all this. But down the road, some people figure out, hey, I can manipulate this person, get more of what I want. It's just, like I said, I'm not sure if I may be less of a fan in general of human nature after the last few years. I don't know. But all I know is I'm back to being super careful. In fact, this is the most careful I've ever been and who I'll give my time to. I'm done with that. I'm just absolutely done. So back in the West, in the States, you got to accept all this stuff. Here you really don't. One of the biggest challenges for guys is, though, they don't realize that, or they're just in the habit. They're just in the habit of kind of giving in and knuckling under, and they don't realize that they just, they don't stop to, I think more likely don't even stop to think that, hey, I should select option B. They're just in option A only for their last 20 years of their life, and they don't really think, hey, let's engage option B and say, no, I don't accept that. You can pack your stuff, or I can, or do you want to maybe behave? I don't. And that may sound harsh, but at my age, and I am officially 60 now, I'm going to have that chip on my shoulder. I don't put up with it from anybody, Fawn's parents never pushed me. A few relatives tried, and I've told those colorful stories in the past. That didn't end well for them. I could say not end well for anybody, but let me check. I didn't care. Not my home culture. And there is a huge advantage to not being in your home culture because it really helps you not care. And if you look up self-help books and look at the not caring and not giving an F and all that kind of stuff, you'll find that many psychologists talk about that. And it's true. It's a real truism across all different types of psychology. You need to not care about things outside your control. You just literally worry yourself for absolutely no reason or benefit. You've just got to throw it out of your mind. And here there's lots of things you can't control. And when it's not your home culture, it's super easy to go, well, I guess that's on them. If you want to go mortgage and take out a loan that you can never repay to have a shiny truck that you don't need. If somebody came to me and asked me, I'd say, please don't do that. Let me help you. Let me show you how this loan agreement is totally, predatory. But if they don't ask me, and if they end up that way, Am I supposed to never sleep the rest of my life worrying about this other person's decision that who does that help, So no, I don't. Sorry, but I don't. And all these cares just drop away. If you can kind of clear, that's why I say come here on solid mental, emotional ground. Get your therapy back in the States. There really isn't any kind of therapy here. You could go online and get something back in your home country, of course. You have the internet here. But Thais don't, as a rule, believe in psychology. If something's wrong, oh my God, maybe we need to lock you up. You have a problem? That they're like in the 1950s or something with that. They're like in the 1950s with a lot of things, and some of that's nice. It's the old days of what the man says goes and all that kind of stuff. And if you can do that in a reasonable, kind, and caring and a benevolent way, then you can be a really good guy and also have what you want. And I that's the line I attempt to walk. I can't claim that I walk it perfectly because I'm sure I do not. But that's what I try. That's my guiding beacon, is just to be the benevolent dictator, I guess. Maybe that's it. Maybe you can think of that what you want, I guess, but that's how I see it. And I ask Fawn's feedback on things all the time, and she's smart. She's smart. Another reason I'm in a good mood too is I'm ordering a bunch of stuff for my motorcycle. I have made the decision to go ahead and do one more round of improvements. But the bike is just so darn good, and I was perusing some photos through my iPhone, seeing what to delete and what was worth keeping. And there was a shot of me on my motorcycle, and I'm like, dang, that bike looks really good. It's so economical, and the bike was so darn cheap. It cost $3,000 or something. And what else is kind of fun around here? It's all the lack of worries and lack of stress, And then if you can now it's all up to you. I had that one video, what was changing my luck in Thailand, and that really applies to this video here, where, before if you remember, it's so hard for you when you have a spouse, you've got your kids directly that they're dependent on you. Maybe you were a manager or an employer, all these responsibilities you had to manage all the time. Here, it's your retirement, and it's finally your turn. It's just you. You'll get your pension straightened out before coming here. Really do that. And if you got 1, 2, 3 pensions, whatever, get them all lined up. Make sure you know exactly what you're going to have. It's not uncommon, believe it or not, for guys to come here, realize they have significantly less money than they thought they were going to have, and they have to go back. That's not a happy guy. And I've seen that a handful of times, and I only know so many people, and I've only been here a couple of years plus. So I'm going to say that's not uncommon by that. So, but get that sorted, because when you come here and your money's sorted, man, every month you get a little alert in your bank saying, look, your deposit showed up, and it's like, oh, hey, there it is, and it's just so nice. And every day it's like, I'm just going to go do this, I'm just going to go do that, I'm going to take some of my money that I saved my whole life for it, I'm going to go have a nice coffee, and if I want to buy the fancy beans for my grinder or the regular bean, I'll buy whatever the heck I want, I guess, because it's all fine, and this tonight I'm taking Fawn and maybe her dad and her 2 boys to the city, and there's some big cultural show, dancing show thing. Probably go look at that, have some fun, and then maybe find a spot to grab a nice dinner somewhere, And then this upcoming weekend, I definitely told Fawn that I want to go find another nice restaurant and go dress up a little bit, just her and I, and have a great time. Maybe we'll go by motorcycle, or if she wants to drive her dad's truck, it's kind of a farm truck. It's kind of a bear to drive. But she doesn't mind driving. It's kind of cute, actually, watch her drive that old truck. It's got a stick shift. Anyways, but so it's just all these it's just so easy. It's just so easy, and it's easy if you don't F it up. And that's why on my channel, I'm always warning this red flag, this warning sign. Because if you can keep all that crap out, man, it's nice, it's real. I mean, just this morning, again, my Thai comes and goes on different days. If I think about it too much, I psych myself out, and I screw up all the tones, and I had that happen a couple of days ago. But I haven't had to this degree happen in a long time. But a couple of days ago, I just totally effed up, and the person was like, "What?" And I normally don't get that. And this morning I was back on normal, and I effortlessly said a couple of things to the clerk. I was buying some things. I overheard some ladies talking about me. I heard them say "Khao Put Chat," which is he speaks clearly. And then I looked over at her, and I said, and I thanked her, Khab Kunder, and then I think I accused her of sweet talking me, and then everybody laughed, and we jokingly, and I ended up in a light conversation with about 4 Thais, and it was fun. It was fun, and I had my fun. And then I'm done. I'm gone. I get my stuff and I'm off. I get my, I went and got my, picked up my green teas at that little tea shop that Fawn and I both like. She makes tea exactly the way each of us like it. And I picked up one for her uncle, Loon, his uncle. I picked up one for Loon. He always lets us park in front of his little clothing shop. And so I always regard him. You know, why wouldn't I just wave and be friendly, beep or wave when I go by on my bike or Fawn's car or whatever? You know, he likes that. And I brought him a tea. You know, I hope he can drink. He can't eat much. He's sick and he's dying. But I asked him a couple of questions about what he can and can't have, and I got him something that I thought had some calories that I think he can eat. That was my best I can do. I hope it worked, you know. Now I'm here doing this. I just chatted and joked with some of Fawn's co-workers. The one guy said his gray hair was a highlight, and I went, my chai. You know, no, you don't highlight with gray. You know, the young woman, mentioned her before peripherally, the beauty contest champion. She's quite pretty, and she laughed, and we just all had a little fun. You know, it was nice. In a moment, I'm going to go back to my little apartment with Fawn. I'm going to have a creatine and maybe a little whey protein. Hop back on the bike and head to the gym, and have a great shoulder day. And I'll probably end up at Bonkers Cafe having a bespoke cappuccino. You know, and if I go late, if I end up coming late, one of these days I gotta get over to Class Cafe, CLASS, Class Cafe. They're a franchise around here. It's like a high-end. Like Amazon is decent coffee, and most of the Amazon locations are actually pretty good. It's priced double what a local shop is, but they are consistently better. But it's just a big franchise. I think of it as the Starbucks of Thailand, and maybe I shouldn't, but it makes me kind of not like it. Having said that, I like Class. Class is a franchise, but it's much smaller and much higher end. Real quality coffee, and they have like Wagyu hamburgers and stuff, and that's like, wow, you know, there's some food there. So if I go late, what I want to do is go to Class. But as hard as like Bonkers is really hard to find. If you ever hear like oh wow, I'm going to Korat. Rob's always talk about Bonkers. I'm going to go there. You'll go 3 times until you find the damn place. It's almost kind of hidden. It's actually kind of hidden. Like you have to look at it on a map and almost park and just start walking and go door to door. And then you will find it. It is marked at the door, but you have to actually be at the door or you won't get it. Class Cafe is even harder to find because it fronts opposite to the street direction of traffic. So when you go, you can only see it when you've passed it. So you got to recognize where it is ahead of time by landmarks, which I've memorized. There's a green wall in front of it. And I got to look for the green wall and then just frickin' park blind and then know I'm near Class. But I went to go there once, and I totally couldn't even see the damn place. I'm like, all right, I got to be more serious about this. But welcome to Thailand. They don't think let's make the business visible. That isn't something they tend to do here, which is awesome if you think about it. And if you think in those kinds of terms, and these challenges are all humorous to you, you'll love retiring here. You know, when Usani, I was in a class with another student from England, and she was laying out some new tone rules and stuff, and the student looks over at me, and I go, lovely. And Usani goes, why do you say that? I go, it's hard to explain, but it's like more sauce for the goose sort of thing. I don't know how to translate that to Thai. I just said I enjoy the challenge. But, you know, it's just... So if you can laugh at all that stuff, you'll laugh at all the craziness here, you know. The only craziness that isn't good is the driving. You got to be real careful. You have to look out for you and the other person, because I've seen people. I just saw a lady on a motorcycle cross traffic on a busy road, never turned her head once, just drove, just got and drove, just pure luck. Nobody hit her. That's my biggest danger. I'm a very experienced motorcyclist. I'm very good in traffic. I know all the traffic patterns. I know what to look for. Anytime you see the side of a car, side of any vehicle, that's a giant red flag. Oh, please don't look at my channel and go, well, Rob's always talking about how fun it is to ride a motorcycle. Unless you've been riding for decades and more important than your time is the training. I'm telling you, the experience is nice, but it's the training. It's the training you got to have. And on that, just from a safety standpoint, I feel bad if I didn't say this. Moto Jitsu is the channel. Look at his early videos. Go way back in his channel. Look at his playlist on basic motorcycle handling, basic motorcycle safety. Those are the best videos on the internet. That's why he got so famous. He has other stuff he does, which is, all in all pretty good. But his fantastic stuff is his early safety stuff. That's what made him a huge channel. And he's right. All his stuff is correct. You can count on that information. That's actual real information. And then the other guy is that Dan the fireman. He just basically shows accidents and gives you rules of how to avoid them. which helps. And between those two channels, you can get a basic level, and then just ride in the villages only for at least 6 months. Praise God, please don't go on a highway in Thailand until you really think you know what the hell you're doing. Back to see, I'm always warning you guys, trying to help you, but then the channel becomes negative, and it's not fair, because this is really cool. It is really cool. You know, it just. And the other thing is, you get a great chance to be you. You know, you just get a great chance to do you. You know, if you've always wanted to do whatever the heck it is you always wanted, this is your turn, man. This is just. You wanted to build model ships, you can order model ships on the internet, set up a hobby room, and just have at it. And I got friends that were into that for years. You know, whatever you want to paint, you know, you want to exercise, you want to hike, a lot of guys want to travel. Thailand has so many beautiful places, and Laos is right over the border. And travel between Thailand and Laos, get a multiple re-entry option on your visa. It's like $100 or $110, or give or take. This isn't the Visa channel, but it's something like that. It's cheap, is my point. And you can bounce back and forth between here and Laos like at will. And Laos, the Thais say, is even prettier than Thailand, which Thais are quite proud, so it must be incredible if they'll say that. And between the two places, you can just have a great time. But even Thailand alone gives you almost unlimited destinations. You could travel over Thailand for 10 years easily, probably, and keep yourself quite entertained. There's all kinds of places with lakes, waterfalls, rivers, mountains, valleys, you know, big farms you can see, and little tiny gourmet coffee plantations. That there is high-end coffee grown in Thailand, like high-end, world-class. They grow that here in Thailand. Whatever it is you wanted to do, if you're a big ladies' man, you can do that here. Just be careful. For all the reasons you know you should be careful, be careful. And, you know, the only thing that's challenging is if you choose a village life, it will take you a long time to find quality people worthy of friendship. Eventually you will do that too. I have, and I'm in a pretty isolated area. You probably can't get too much more isolated than me. I mean, you can go a little more and just go where there's just nothing but goats and carts. And even I found a few quality people. And for me, I just need a couple of guys. It's just having a couple of people I can call up and just, you know, talk some shit with, you know, just the best way to say it, pardon me, but you know what I mean? And just flat out not be worried about being politically correct or, you know, whatever. That's good for me, you know. If I go to the city and I run into too many foreigners that want to chit-chat, I get bored pretty quick after a little bit of that, and I'd rather go find a spot that's quiet. So it depends on your personality, you know. If you want to really party and disco and go out and dance and date and all that, those aren't village cultural things. I mean, you'll find ladies that do that, but a lot of them are pros. Out here, they have bars for that, but a lot of the ladies there are working at various levels. They're not all like prostitutes, you know, they need, you know, 1,000 baht to go to sleep with you or something, but there are various levels of working, and I don't know what else to say to that. I'm having a blast. I'm a relatively picky guy. You can probably see that for yourself, and I'm having one big fat good time here. And you don't have to learn the language like I did, and again, I'm not great. For an old guy that came here never speaking a foreign language before, yeah, I'm freaking fantastic. But on the relative scale, my Thai still sucks, and so will yours, and that's okay. You don't have to nail the tones. You have to be, if there's multiple low tones and multiple high tones, and there's different kinds of tones. You just have to, if it's a low or a high tone, as long as you're in one of the low or one of the high tones, and you're saying a well-known phrase, like, you know, good morning, or that is okay, which is mai pen harai, that is okay. That's a phrase you'll want to memorize, you know, or kap kum kap, okay. All you're saying, like a common phrase, and your tones are like ballpark close, you're fine. 90% of Thais can understand you. So there's more good news. Look at that. So anyways, all right, I'm going to shut this down. I got my stuff to do, and hopefully I'll edit this, and this will come up some good, happy content that won't be boring to watch, but try it out. If you're thinking of Southeast Asia, this is a good place to start. A lot of people try other places, I hear, and end up in Thailand because of superior infrastructure. There's actual real police here, despite what you might hear online. And there's kind of a rational framework of civilization here. There's a real infrastructure and real civilization here, yet it's still cheap. And the Thais are very friendly. They are very friendly. So anyways, all right, that's it. Left the room back there. I made a relatively brutal sex joke. It was a bit of a social risk, but everybody laughed. They're still laughing, so that was kind of fun. There was a new teacher, And new, I really can't do the tones for new. My brain just, my tongue or something won't do it, but it's mine. And it's a real soft tone, and the word for no is my, and it's used for other it's used for wood, which I can't say that wood, it just, that word sucks. Anyways, but it was fun making a joke. Oh, there's the new teacher in the background. But anyways, that's it. Okay, shoulder day is done. Here's NB Yoga Fitness. You can see all the equipment. It's everything you need. I mean, I get a full workout. There's one of the owners right there. I talked to him, but he's working on his phone. I'll leave him alone. But it's a nice place. They're very friendly. They're always offering anything you need. They have a little fridge back there. It's got some Gatorade, different sizes of water, and some mostly healthy and some unhealthy drinks. But it's all good. There's their official thing. Anyway, so see ya. Ultimately, I went and got myself a nice breakfast and a bespoke cappuccino over at Bonkers. And look how thick that bacon is, let me tell you. Very few guys don't appreciate a good piece of bacon. It was awesome. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.